Well, good day.
Good day, sir.
'Cause I don't know if this is going to be morning, afternoon, or night that you're listening, but happy Monday to y'all.
Yeah, it's a Monday here for us.
Special Monday edition. Really, any edition these days is a special edition of the Lunch Break Podcast on account of, we're very bad at recording episodes.
Yeah, we couldn't do this as our day job. We would not be making much.
No, we'd be broke.
We'd be broke.
Yeah. But it is the Monday after the Super Bowl. Is that called Super Monday?
Super Monday. It's got. I mean,
is it?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a thing. But
it should be a holiday, though. People
should.
Every year they talk about it being a holiday, the day after Super Bowl.
I'm for it.
Yeah,
I'm for it. I mean, the game starts earlier than most night games and ends. I guess it didn't end that late, but it feels like a long day.
It does. There's a lot of lead up to it, though, too.
Yeah.
I mean, you're on TV, you're watching it, you're watching all the highlights from the season, the breakdown from all the commentators as to what to expect, who their picks are, so and all that kind of stuff. And so it feels like it's a whole day's worth of...
And eating is exhausting.
Yeah, it is.
I just want to eat food on the Super Bowl.
Yeah, what kind of food did you have in the Super Bowl?
What do you think I had?
Pizza?
I made some pizza.
You made some pizza,
Made
good.
some za, had some friends over. Listener of the show, Mike.
Hey, Mike A.
Don't need to drop his last name, just in case he doesn't want to be ashamed.
You don't want to out him?
Him and his wife and daughter came over, had a good time, had some pizza, had some boneless wings.
Boneless wings? Okay.
We had a veggie dip. It's like veggies cut up and mixed with like cream cheese and sour cream. That wasn't supposed to be a dip.
It sounds like it's a good idea, though.
It's delicious. It's delicious. I've
typically-
had it here before. I had it in like a wrap.
Oh, okay.
And there's like chunks of broccoli, carrot, cauliflower, pepper, mixed with like a cream cheese, sour cream mixture. And you're supposed to be able to actually spread it on like a wrap and wrap it up and cut it up into like these little hors d'oeuvre bites.
Yeah.
Well, what happens is cream cheese was very difficult to find.
Yeah.
So...
Thanks, Joe Biden.
We're not a political show.
No.
We're not a political show.
We'll keep it there.
Anyway, so cream cheese, very hard to find.
Yes.
So finally, my wife is able to find cream cheese at BJ's Wholesale Club. This episode not sponsored by BJ's Wholesale Club. And she was able to find like the tub of cream cheese, which it is cream cheese, but it is distinctly in fine print, not put out there in any other form other than very tiny writing. It's a cream cheese spread. So what happened is that you get the block of cream cheese, you have a certain thickness.
True.
And it kind of stays thick. It doesn't really get too soft. Well, the cream cheese spread became so liquefied that you couldn't possibly spread it on anything. So then I just got a loaf of bread and it became a bread dip.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So it was a good pivot.
It's a very different way of using cream cheese from like the whipped variety as well. Like whipped is its own thing as well.
Yeah, whipped would have been probably even more of a disaster.
Yeah,
not that this was a disaster. I think it was a happy accident.
Yeah.
If I could be so bold,
You can be.
if I could say that.
Thanks, Bob.
So it was good. It was good. But yeah, I mean, not all cream cheese are made alike.
That's true. You gotta know what you're getting into.
And I don't know what would have happened if she used a Neufchâtel.
That's one thing I've never tried. I always sit right next to the cream cheese in the cream cheese section, and I haven't picked it up to see, how is it different? How is it distinct from cream cheese?
Have you seen the Philadelphia 1/3 less fat?
Yes.
That's Neufchâtel cheese.
Oh, it is?
I don't know how to pronounce it.
I don't
so I'm
either.
going to say it like
I'm glad
pretentious idiot.
I'm glad you said it.
That's the Neufchâtel. You take a little bit of the Neufchâtel, you mix it with the vegetables, you have a very good time.
Like what's that?
I don't know what that accent was. Don't ask me.
What's that other? It kind of reminds me of instead of having sour cream, that other cream.
Creme fraiche?
Creme fraiche. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of that there are two different types of creams,
I prefer mine sour, I guess.
Yeah, me too. I as well.
As opposed to fresh.
I guess.
That does seem like a contrast. Sour cream, creme fraiche.
It does. Right.
I don't know what kind of cream I want to get. There's sour cream, there's fresh cream, there's so many creams.
I had sour cream yesterday. We had tacos for.
Ooh.
It was for lunch. It was a late lunch at the Parker household, and it was the first time I've ever had sour cream in a squirt bottle. Have you had one?
Yes, I have gotten it. I'm just going to turn off my
different.
sounds here.
Yeah.
Do not disturb here.
It was strange because coming when you squeeze it out onto your taco, it reminds me of mayonnaise, and I hate mayonnaise. So even though it tasted the same as sour cream would normally, it reminded me too much of mayonnaise, and I wasn't feeling it. It was weird.
This is this is related to you, side, and we're deviating from Super Bowl, which is fine. Have you ever seen the mechanism or the tool, whatever, that they use at Taco Bell to put sour cream on? They have like full-on caulk guns.
Yeah,
it's like it's got a trigger and a tube.
Yes,
it's just
I
like,
have seen that. That's true.
Like,
yeah,
I'm sorry for all you had to hear that noise because that's probably not going to translate well. Like it sounds gross, but it's Taco Bell, so in all fairness, it's probably gross. But I love it.
But I still eat
I have a
though,
category
right?
in my brain for this is gross but amazing, and that's Taco Bell.
But amazing.
They have it has the same looking cartridge. I think
it does.
from what I've seen from behind the register.
They don't hide it well.
No, I mean they got
Obviously.
that thing out, and they're just like, I'm gonna go fix the shower, and then I'm gonna top your taco.
True, touche.
But yeah, I think one time I don't even know if we got the bottle. It was like almost like a bag of sour cream. Like it was like a squeeze.
Yep, I've seen that before.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah,
I feel like it has to come out on a spoon, and you get more than you wanted, and then when you try to put it on carefully, you just get a glob in one spot as opposed to an even spread. Like I feel like that's a part of the sour cream experience.
I agree.
And you don't get that with the squirt bottle. You have a precision that you shouldn't.
Yeah,
it's kind of like ketchup.
Yes,
ketchup.
Yeah,
you used to have the struggle of the glass bottle. It's
Yes.
like, well, let me take the knife and loosen it up, and then get my pour. But then they came out with you just squeeze the bottle thing, but they never got the pressure right.
Right.
So they either create the container that can stand on its lid, but it doesn't have like the mechanism to where you have to push it for it to come out. So then you pick it up and it's been standing on its lid and then it just falls out. Or you have I don't know what it's called, the one where you just squirt the ketchup out. But you always end up with the giant gob of ketchup at the beginning of the squirt.
right. Or you get a lot of liquid at the beginning of the squirt if you don't shake the bottle.
And there's not a whole lot of way to get it out like there was in the old days where you just stir it up a little bit.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
I mean, that's all we have on condiments for today.
Right. Yeah.
I think.
And how did we get the condiments from Super Bowl? I don't know. We were talking about food.
Food. Cream cheese, sour cream, creme fraiche, mayonnaise,
Mayonnaise
ketchup.
like sour cream.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
So yeah, football game was fun.
it was. I saw the
good
first
time.
half. It was good. It was the first year my daughter Natalie was really interested in watching Super Bowl. She's like, "Dad, we got to watch Super Bowl together." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I don't know where this exuberance came from, but she was a Rams fan right from the beginning. She told me right away, Rams all day long, and I was like, so I had to, of course, root for the Bengals because that's just where our relationship is. We like to be on competing sides of things. She's very competitive. I'm not, but I've become more competitive maybe because she's pushed me that direction. But we're it was all in good fun.
Just as long as you guys never like play basketball in the driveway and you throw it down and then you get in her face and be like, "Take that!"
That's true. Yeah, I'll try not to do that. I'll try to be a
maybe
good father.
you can. I mean, if it'll make her laugh, do it. If
As long
it'll
as
make her
it's-
cry, don't.
Yeah, if it's gonna encourage her, if it's not gonna, demoralize her. But no, so it was fun. We watched the first half, and she and I were really the only ones that were paying attention. We and had a good time, and we had to end it at halftime because that was bedtime. And actually, after that, I just kind of trailed off. I didn't watch the rest of the game, but it was a good game up to that point.
So you bowed out at the halftime show.
I did.
Not because of the halftime show,
not
but just because of
necessarily.
the time of it.
Time.
What I've found with this halftime show, for those of you who are unaware of who performed at halftime, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Eminem, I believe Kendrick Lamar was one of them, 50 Cent, Mary J. Blige.
50 Cent was there too? I didn't know.
50 Cent? I don't think he was advertised, but he was in the club. He
Oh,
was
okay.
in the club. Bottle full of bub, mama, got what you need. So what's funny is like I didn't walk away from the halftime show going amazing, or I didn't walk away from it going terrible, simply awful. How did they put time into that? Like I thought it was fine. It was for what it was. If you understand that era of hip hop,
Right.
it was good.
Yeah.
It was fine.
They did what they were expected to do.
The social.
Did they get all the songs and everything that everybody would be assuming?
Yeah,
they would be,
they
were
had
popular for?
they did Now I'm
So I
forgetting.
don't even know all the
Now
songs. I wasn't a big hip hop guy. I mean, I was around it. I knew who
They
was
did
who.
like the
but,
na 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 na.
right.
The D-O-double-G. Snoop Dogg. Na 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 na. Rhyming with the D-R-E. Dr. Dre. Whatever. I don't know if those are the right words. I'm definitely censoring it. But so they did that. That's kind of how it opened up. They did Still Dre a little bit.
Okay.
The song Still Dre.
It's probably not a lot
That's
of
when Eminem
theatrics,
came
right?
up and out. Not a lot of theatrics.
You can't really do much with
No,
that
it was
type
kind of
of
cool.
music.
They actually had this mat down on the ground that, from an overhead view, looked like a bird's eye view of like the city streets and everything.
Oh, that's cool.
Which I thought was a projection, but then you look and they're actually dancing on it and they're on it. I thought, oh, that was pretty cool. It's very practical, and I kind of like that they're using practical more than an over amount of digital or whatever. So
Right.
that was cool. But they did some hits. 50 Cent did In the Club. I'm really not familiar with a lot of Mary J. Blige stuff, so
Yeah,
she
me
probably did hits. I don't know.
Yeah. Greatest hits kind of thing.
But it was fine. But you can clearly like, it would be a game. I wish I had a game queued up. How old is this person? And I would just show you a Facebook status, right? And you could determine their age by what they thought of the Super Bowl halftime show.
Right. It was that there was a very big divide over
Oh my goodness!
a generation divide.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, biggest waste of 12 minutes of my life was one that I saw.
It was only 12 minutes.
Things that I think people didn't mean to sound racist, but it sounded a little racist.
Yeah.
They hated it. They couldn't stand it. So that was like pretty much people 50, 55 and above, maybe, from what I saw who posted. Now, I'm not saying this is across the board.
Right. Yeah.
I'm sure there's plenty of people who loved it of that age bracket. They just didn't feel the need to be a keyboard warrior about it.
Right.
And then I saw the people of more my age bracket, your age, maybe even into the 40s, who were like, finally, the music I grew up bumping to in my car made it to the
Right.
Super Bowl. It wasn't pop. It wasn't classic rock. It was hip hop. And the guys I was thinking about who were did it, I'm like, man, back when these guys were in their heyday, they were like a stick it to the man. Like, I just don't see them doing Super Bowls back then, but here they are.
Yeah.
Doing the Pepsi
They've arrived.
halftime show.
Yeah. It was their turn.
Snoop Dogg doesn't care.
Yeah. I know.
Is that going to give me paychecks? D-O-double-G's in. Come on now. That's not a good Snoop Dogg impression. I get it.
So I missed out on that, unfortunately.
You missed
but
out on it.
I probably would have enjoyed some of it, depending. You know, I mean, I would have probably known a few of the songs, but I wasn't a big fan of all the different people that you just mentioned. That all the artists. I mean, maybe a couple here and there I might have heard on whatever radio hits were there.
Yeah.
I probably would have recognized.
And they were
That
mostly
would've been
radio
about
hits. Eminem did Lose Yourself.
it. Okay, yeah.
Great song.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pump-up song right there.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I just love that. When he did 8 Mile, that was the 8 Mile song, was
It
it?
was
Pretty much.
It was. I
Yeah.
think that was what
That
it
was
was written
that was
for.
a fun movie.
And it was fitting with Stafford being in the Super Bowl to have that song because he has that long history of being on Detroit. Here he is. He
Right.
made it. So he's got a little Detroit reference there as he goes in and wins the Super Bowl.
Nice.
But social media is a funny thing. This is my transition.
Okay.
So after the game, really a decent amount of time after the game, I did some dishes, I cleaned up. I'm on Facebook. And one of my friends posted a status about the halftime show, like missed another halftime show or something. I think he just didn't care to watch it. And then another guy who I was friends with on Facebook posted this picture. Now, what is this? What is this picture?
That is a picture from Home Alone. I
Now,
mean, it's
you identified that immediately. I opened it up and you
yeah.
went, Home Alone.
right. Yep, that's Kevin McAllister hanging up on the back of the kitchen door, going down to the basement from Home Alone when Marv and what's his name, the two villains,
The Wet Bandits.
the Wet Bandits are there. They
Marv-
finally caught him.
Harry?
Harry, yes, Harry and Marv have him captured.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was posted in the comment section of my friend's post. It was about the halftime show.
Yeah.
And it said, talk about hypocrisy. And he's like, I don't understand what's hypocritical about this. So then he says, reverse the roles and tell me this wouldn't be all over CNN.
Okay.
And he's like, maybe I'm missing it. I think it's a reference to all the jokes all season long.
Right. Which
No, he's like, think about it. It's a depiction of a lynching.
There's nothing to
Yes,
do with lynching.
yes. I know.
Okay.
Like, so
Very
I have an
surprised.
example over here. Joe Burrow has been compared to Kevin McAllister all season long.
Yeah, and now I can see it because they put him.
You can see it. Yeah, they like
side by side. You can see. Oh, he does kind of resemble.
There's a resemblance to it.
Macaulay Culkin.
He definitely resembles adult Macaulay Culkin.
Yes. Yeah.
And there's been like memes like, think about all Joe Burrow went through to get here, left at home alone as a child, left in New York City by his parents, like all
And
that
still
kind of
managed
stuff.
to succeed. in
Yeah,
life.
yeah,
right.
So like, there's those memes, and I'm not a Facebook commenter. It's
Yeah.
not my thing. I want to avoid that stuff. And I guess I avoided on important things. And this one I just went in. I think it was late.
Yeah.
I ate a lot of pizza. I had my pizza goggles on. I don't know. I don't know what the case was.
So you entered into.
I entered in because I'm
conversation.
like, I think he doesn't know that this is from a movie. Like, he's not understanding what's happening. So for him, he's seeing someone strung up, being intimidated
Yeah.
by two of the best defensive players in the game.
Right.
So I
what'd you say?
comment with a photo
Yeah.
from the movie
Okay.
of the Wet Bandits and Kevin McAllister basically in this position.
Yeah.
I said,
It's a reference to a movie.
it's just a reference to Home Alone. That's all it is.
Yeah.
There's nothing racial unless you feel like seeing it that way.
Yeah.
But it's literally just that.
Yeah.
So I said,
Oh,
I'll
boy.
give it's a bad Photoshop. That's probably at worst what it is.
True.
And then like he doubled down on it and was
no.
like, think about it. You got to see the roles reversed. If the roles reversed said the same thing, it would be all over CNN. We can have white racism and everything else. And I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
there's no lynching depicted here.
Right, that's
it's
not
a
what it's
kid
about.
hung up on a door.
Right.
Oh, this is what he said before this. See, I wish they took down the post. By all means, I'm sure my friend did not want the comments to go on. It was something like 45 comments, not mine. Somebody else hopped in, and that's when I was like, I'm out. I'm out.
Tapping out of this.
All I wanted to do was bring some context to a picture so
Yeah,
he
just
would
trying to help
stop.
correct him.
Yeah. So before he got to that next part, he's like, well, most people probably don't get that Home Alone reference or whatever, if that's what it is. And so I go to the Sports Nation page that the picture was originally posted on, which it's still there because it's not offensive because
Right,
it's movie
to anybody.
reference.
Right, exactly.
And I screenshotted it and circled in markup the thousands of people who hit the laughing response and said, well, 2.8 thousand people last night understand the joke.
Yes.
So
I don't even
think
see any other
because he kept saying they need to know their audience. And like 2.8 thousand people understood the reference. So
and have no problem with it.
no problem.
In fact, there's a lot more now too, and I
Yeah.
don't think there's any that are negative. They're either laughs,
Yeah, so there's
or likes.
66.
Oh, there are 66.
mad
okay.
faces, 4.4 thousand laughs, and then 5,000 thumbs up.
Yeah,
And maybe some cries and cares. But
of course.
so we do that. So he's like, he said, out of those 2.8 thousand people, how many want Burrow lynched? I'm thinking probably zero.
Right.
Probably
Nobody
zero
wants him
people
lynched.
because no one in their right mind wants anyone lynched.
Right,
That's
exactly.
horrible.
Exactly.
And this picture is not a lynching. I said,
No.
dude, this picture is not remotely a lynching. It's a Home Alone reference. Most of America understands that. I said, you can see it however you want, but don't make something that's not there into something. Let's agree to disagree. And I left it at let's agree to disagree.
Yeah.
And then someone else hopped in. And so then I was like, we're going to bring some lightheartedness to this unnecessarily tense thing that I probably shouldn't have gotten involved in anyway. So I post like a gif of like a guy going whoopsies and wrote like to my friend, tag my friend, sorry for blowing up your comment section. That's where I left it for the night.
yeah.
I wake up this morning.
There's
I should have had this queued up to a message from this fella. I'm sorry, bro. After that interaction, I don't respect conversation moving forward. And I was unfriended by him.
Oh no.
I was unfriended because I was just providing context to the reference to maybe say, hey, Sports Nation is not racist.
Right.
They just understand movies.
Well, like you said, there's been context all season for what this means.
That's what I said
Yeah.
all season long.
He's
He
been
did not
compared
care.
to Kevin McAllister.
He did
for
not care.
all season long.
Check this out.
Yeah.
Check this out.
That's too bad.
And I'm going out of my way to not say a name. I don't need to blow up a name. I took this screenshot because he was not only on my friend's page doing this. I started getting things popping up on my feed now with things he commented in because I interact with him. Facebook is creepy.
Yeah.
And so they started showing me everything he commented on. This is Sunday Night Football on NBC's page. Yep. I'm going to click on the comment section of about 4 pictures and take a look at what's on all of them.
Okay.
So this is the first one. Oh, hypocrisy. Showing the picture.
Yep.
Here's the next one. Look at the hypocrisy.
Oh my
2
goodness.
times posted on one comment section of that post picture. Nobody biting. Everyone's like, yeah, I don't see the hypocrisy, dude. He did it again.
Hypocrisy. Oh my goodness.
He's like tone deaf. It's horrible. It's
At that point, it sounds like, unfortunately, he wants people to be offended.
he's going out of his
He's on
way
to try to make people see it in the way that he's seeing it, so there will be offense, so that there will be division, and there will be controversy where there isn't any controversy.
What a time to be alive.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I'm a movie reference guy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to defend a movie reference. You're not going to be able to take a movie reference and turn it into something it's not.
Right, yeah. That's true. It sounds like it's lighthearted, like you said. It's supposed to just be something to laugh at.
Like, oh, yeah, it's true. They got him.
Oh, boy.
Like, seriously. So, I got unfriended over that. And
Yikes.
I wish I had my comments. And they were, I would say they were respectful. I never called them names. I never said, you are a moron.
Right.
It was just like, just here's the movie. This is not a racist picture.
Right.
Or
no matter how you want to look at it, it's not racist.
Yeah.
It's just referring to this movie.
yeah, whatever. Most people haven't seen Home Alone. And then my other friend, so I was kind of following the comments. My other friend posted, you know when people type in a mixture of lowercase and caps?
Yes.
And it's meant to sound like, duh, 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 like you're an
like
idiot.
SpongeBob. I think everything that he's done,
Yes,
reference,
yes,
is always in those.
exactly.
Okay.
It represents you mocking someone.
Yeah.
And so one of my other friends had done that, and I wouldn't do that. I'm not condoning that. Well, whatever. Do what you want. It's comments. It's freedom of speech. I don't really care. So then this same guy who unfriended me like clapped back at him, like, "Oh, I see you're master of the caps. You must be a real internet troll." Check this out. I didn't have to go out of my way. Again, Facebook did the work for me.
Just presented it all to you.
I just screenshotted a comment that he made to somebody else using the same thing.
No.
The same thing.
With the caps and lowercase.
With the caps and lowercase.
Yeah.
And he did it, it looked like 43 minutes prior to when he called the other guy out
for doing
it to
and now
him.
he's using it, yeah.
So,
yeah.
I don't know.
It's sad.
It's weird, right?
It is weird, yeah.
And this is just an whole episode to say, don't comment.
Right. Maybe you should think twice about
comment.
commenting on stuff, because you're just going to, unfortunately, offend somebody, or they're going to find something offensive when there's nothing to be offended by.
Yeah. So, I mean, I told him in the message pretty much like, you know what? I wish you the best. I still respect you, even though we disagree. Like, I'm going to leave it there.
Right.
And see what happens. Hopefully he like comes out of it and goes, whoa, what a string of rash decisions I've made.
Right.
Or not. I don't know.
Yeah.
So it was very weird.
That is weird.
Very weird.
Ironically, I was watching Home Alone yesterday as well.
Were you?
Before the Super Bowl, yeah. My son is a huge fan of it all of a sudden. He's only 2 years old. So a lot of people have seen the movie, including my 2-year-old, over and over and over again. So that's his favorite movie now. So he was always, when he comes home, wants to watch Home Alone. So we put it on and we watch it with them. So, but yeah, ironically, we were just watching Home Alone as well again, which is strange because it's not even season anymore for that. We're past Christmas season.
Yeah.
Doesn't really belong on TV. Doesn't belong on to be watched. But you watch what the kids watch.
Right. You put it. It wasn't on TV.
No, it wasn't on TV. We put it on.
Yeah.
We own it.
You can do that all year round if you want.
So,
and it was seasonal for this.
Because
again, if you were up on the Joe Burrow references, you could have been like, "Let's watch Home Alone to pregame for the Super Bowl," because it'd be funny.
Right, exactly.
Except we'll skip that part at the end where he's on the door because that's racist.
That's racist, right? Oh boy. Okay.
Insane.
That's why I'm not on Facebook very much anymore.
Maybe
maybe
I
you
woke
should
up,
take a
like, first thing I told Katie, I'm like, I got involved in a comment thing. She's like, she knows I never do that.
war.
It wasn't even a comment war. It was literally like 4 things back
Right.
and forth. Then a comment war ensued, but it had nothing to do with me.
Yeah, you were already out of it by that
Oh
point.
my goodness. It's just one of those things that's in my head. Like, I can't believe that just happened.
Yeah.
I'm okay with the unfriending. I mean, it's fine. It's not, he wasn't someone I interacted with. Like, I haven't seen him since I was in college.
Yeah.
I'm never going to see him again. It's fine. I've weeded out one person from my friends list, but I wouldn't have chose to do that.
Right. Yeah.
Because he didn't do anything worthy of unfriending on my end.
Right.
I thought don't you comment for conversation?
Yeah. Absolutely.
I guess you only comment to get agreement and to get your pitchforks.
Well, that's true. Unfortunately,
I guess. I don't know.
nowadays. You know, 20 years ago, we would never be having this conversation.
No.
Pre Facebook, this is a strange time to be alive for real, isn't it? When you think about it,
Yeah, it's
the things that we do on social media that I'm trying to think about how they would happen outside of that whole realm of reality or whatever you want to call it now.
here's how
You know
it
what I
would have
mean?
happened. I would have had my phone, or I would have called you over to my Packard Bell computer.
Yeah, right.
And
On
you know,
instant
if we want
messaging,
to
IM.
go back that far, like pulling up Windows 98, like, here, check out this image. 10 minutes later, oh, okay, it's fully loaded. Look at this, man. Can you believe they put that up there? And then you would have been like, well, actually,
That's right.
I know it could look bad if you don't understand, but contextually, it's just a Home Alone reference.
Right.
To the movie. They've been calling Joe Burrow Kevin McAllister, and I'd be like, oh, yeah, I thought that was way worse than it was. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for telling me that. End of story.
Right.
Because we were in person. Like, I don't think someone
True.
would be like, look at the picture.
Right.
If this was on CNN, tables are turned, buddy. Racism. Like, that's irrational in
Right.
person.
It is.
Like,
But but the people that you see and that you interact with on Facebook that are you're friends with on Facebook, that are fringe friends, I would say, like people that have been in your past that are friends that you probably
Yeah.
wouldn't normally interact with.
Oh,
this
yeah.
would never have happened.
It's
you would,
true.
You would never even had the
It's
interaction
true.
to begin with. Not because you didn't want to, but because it just wouldn't have happened.
Right.
So
Right.
Facebook is creating these opportunities, these of communication, opening lines of communication that wouldn't normally be there. So,
But then I
just
got
think it's
to,
interesting.
I got to laugh with another friend about how crazy it was.
Right.
So
Right. That's
I
true, too.
connected on there and had some laughs apart from it. Like, this is insane.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, true.
So, yeah, agreed. This whole thing would have been avoided had I not
Yeah.
been on social media. So maybe I need to
You just need
reevaluate.
to evaluate your stance on social media usage.
Speaking of which, social media, I thought we were going to wrap up, but Super Bowl commercial, there was a commercial
Oh.
for Meta.
Oh my goodness! I think I saw
With
that.
the dog,
The dog.
the
I'm trying to-
mechanical dog.
Oh yes, I did see that one.
Yeah.
that was very strange. It was really weird.
Very, very strange.
Yeah, what do you think of the whole meta thing?
I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
I don't like it.
I think it's very strange, very eerie. I mean, people, I think, as well, are finding it strange that you can go online in this virtual reality shopping, or I think it's what they want to start doing is you go and you shop rather than on Amazon. You're almost like you're walking through the store.
Well, from what I understand, I could be wrong on this, but
Legless?
I think you can.
You know what I mean? And
I think you can buy Meta real estate.
yes, I think I have heard that.
I mean,
you can actually
it's
own
insane.
places that don't really exist in reality.
We can own money that doesn't really exist in reality now.
That's true. Yeah, cryptocurrency is huge.
Yeah. Now, if you're into crypto and I said that and I'm wrong, I get it because I don't have anything to do with it.
Yeah.
So
I
maybe
don't
it does exist in reality. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, at
It's
some
very
point,
weird to me. This will be my generational divide here.
Right,
All right.
me
I'm not
too.
the old guy saying I hate the Super Bowl. I'm the old guy saying I don't understand this digital money. Is it like when
Yeah.
I've gotten Mario when I hit the question mark box?
But you know what I'm finding? Like at one point, I thought this is just ridiculous. Why would anybody do this? Why don't they use the money that's real, like real money, like we typically do? And I know that
we don't have any
people
left.
I know people say like, well, we're a cashless society for the most part. I mean, you can still use cash, but people have credit cards. Everything is done on a card and it's done digitally. So I get that, but I was always wondering, like, okay, but where's the leap into these other markets? And I think I finally understood it for the first time as to why people are grasping hold of it. And it had to do with the truckers in Canada when I read this article about how Canada is going after the GoFundMes and these other places where people are sending their money in order to help to, and whatever you feel about that, it's, that's your prerogative. But what I mean is it's being closed in on by these governments, by the Canadian government saying, no, we're going to keep them from sending the money to the people that it's being sent to. It's meant to. And now people are saying, okay, well, the way around it is cryptocurrency because there's no government that can restrict it. And so now I started to understand, like, oh, it's I get it.
You go off the grid by being on the grid digitally with your money almost.
Yeah, in a sense, like
there's no regulation.
It's a way around the money that we're typically used to having that is restricted and is it goes through whatever the government regulation. It's not regulated, like you said.
Interesting.
So I can see how now, if I want it to go to people who I really want it to go to, and there's a government or some entity that's standing in the way, I can go around them with another form of currency and be able to help people. I mean, it's just one. It's one idea or one manifestation of how that's playing out. I'm like, now I get it. I think I finally kind of dawned on me, like, how it could be useful.
You're gonna get an NFT?
I don't think so. Not yet. Okay. I'm not in. I don't think I'm enough to jump in on it yet. But I'm starting to understand with a little more clarity, so how it could be helpful for people. You know what I mean? And why it's becoming a big thing, blowing up. So anyway.
Though crypto, I think a genius Super Bowl ad was Coinbase did a Super Bowl commercial with a QR code just bouncing on the screen like a screensaver.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, what is this QR code?
Yeah.
And I said out loud, well, I'm not going to scan that. And then in the same breath said, no, I want to see what it is.
Yeah.
And I took it out, and my wife, Katie's like, you're going to scan it? I'm like, I'm going to scan it. It's on the Super Bowl. It's not going to some virus. So I put my camera up and then said, oh, it's for crypto. It says Coinbase. But how many people took their phone out, scanned the code? Again, there's probably a generational divide there on who's taking the
Was that the only thing
out.
that was in the commercial, just it bouncing around?
It was bouncing around, and I think as soon as it finally laid perfectly in the corner, which everyone waits for those bouncing squares to do,
right?
Then it said like Coinbase at the end of the commercial. Okay. But that's all it was.
Interesting.
Was this QR code that changed colors when it hit the wall.
Huh.
And then I took it out. I'm like, well, I want to know who did this.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
So it was pretty good. There's probably tons of people who were like, that was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. That's fine.
But it got the point across. It did what it was supposed to do. It got people.
So yeah, the meta commercial was weird.
Very weird.
I'm not on board with setting up an alternate reality for myself in a digital universe.
A second life
ran by Mark Zuckerberg,
right?
Of all people.
Yeah. I think he went off.
Yeah.
Into some weird.
Yeah.
Land. When the meta started.
Another commercial, Frito-Lay's. Or just Lay's. No, Frito-Lay. It's a whole brand commercial. Potentially could have ruined my night last night with a Seth Rogen and Paul Rudd commercial. They're eating Lay's, and they're talking about how Lay's were involved in all their movies or life moments together. And like, yeah, you had them when you moved into your house, and they go to this house, and it turns out it's haunted, and this like demon-looking woman just appears on the screen. Lily is sitting literally 2 feet away from the TV, and we're like, Lily! And she like ran over and like covered her eyes at my wife, and I'm like, why?
Why would they do
that? Has the potential to have her waking up in the middle of the night going, the lady from the commercial.
Oh no!
It's like, come on, like it was horrific looking.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Why would they do that?
So it went from being a pretty fun commercial to like, I'm so annoyed at you, Lay's. I get it. And then at the end, they have him marrying like the demon woman or something. It was humorous.
Yeah.
But
when you have kids watching, his family watching the Super Bowl. Did you see the commercial? It made me think of it when you said Lay's and chips. I thought of the Dorito commercial. Did you see the Dorito commercial where the lady, this woman is out in, I don't know, the rainforest or somewhere in the jungle, and she drops it on the ground, and all the animals come and start eating. I think the sloth eats it, and it's and all I could think of was it was somewhat of a ripoff of like the Budweiser commercials. Did you remember those back in the day with the Budweiser?
Oh yeah, the talking frogs.
So instead of doing talking frogs, they had these talking animals, and they were all doing, instead of doing words, they were doing like sounds, and then they all sounded like they were making like this music melody or something, or they were doing like a, drum beats and that kind of thing.
Did you catch? It
seemed like.
Did you see what the Dorito flavor was?
Yes, it was the flamin'
hot, cool ranch.
Oh, I didn't see. I didn't see that part. I just saw it was flaming hot that they
Yeah.
were showing. But I was like, I definitely want to try them. But it just made me think it was like almost a ripoff of the Budweiser. Even though there wasn't words, it was the same premise.
Yeah.
Like they're eating something, they're consuming it, and then they're making these noises, and they all together start singing. And it's like
at some point, you can't reinvent the wheel too
you
much.
can't. That's true.
I thought T-Mobile was fairly creative, where they had like the commercials, like they were raising money for cell phones.
Oh yes, yeah. I saw that.
Like
one too.
almost like support so they could get 5G or something. I'm like, that was pretty good. The
Who was
celebs.
the celebrity that was in it?
Dolly Parton was the
Yes.
I think she was the main one, and then Miley Cyrus.
Okay, yeah.
I'm like, that was creative. That was funny.
Yeah,
because
that was pretty
like,
good.
but
Save
Katie
the
was like,
phones or
what,
something like
what
that, I
Was
think it
that?
was.
Yeah, save the phones. And then they showed like a 5G map or whatever, and I'm like, that was so funny.
Yeah,
to me it
pretty
was. That's
good.
like my kind of humor.
It was clever.
So it was good. So overall, Super Bowl was a good night. I always enjoy Super Bowl night. Even I'm not invested in either team. I like the game was over and I wasn't like upset,
But it was a good
and
game,
I wasn't
though.
overjoyed.
Like what I saw was a good game at least.
I mean, it was
and when
a
I looked at the final score, it looked like it was a close game.
3-point game.
Yeah.
I mean, up until like it was under 2 minutes when the Rams went ahead. So I'm like, that's a good game for almost the whole second half. It looked like the Bengals were potentially going to win.
Yeah.
And then, of course, everyone blames the refs. Oh, the refs gave the Rams the game. They waited for the opportunity, and then the refs got involved. And it's like, stop it.
Yeah. Do people expect the Rams to dominate? I mean, was that pretty much the expectation, or was it just really?
It really depended on who you talked to. There were certain people that were like,
I thought too.
They felt like, yeah, we're glad the Bengals made it, but the Rams are going to walk all over them with their defense. Well, mostly it's because the Rams have an amazing defense.
Yeah.
Especially on the line. Like, quarterbacks, watch out for Aaron Donald and Von Miller, and they're elite, and they're going to take you out. And Joe Burrow, I think, was the most sacked quarterback in the playoffs, which means his offensive line was not very good, which means you put that up against these guys, you're in for it. How are you going to score?
Right.
So I think that was why they thought it would be. And then you talk to some people, they're like, well, I don't know. Joe Burrow, he's been doing everything to overcome being taken out. I think he could do it. So nobody thought the Bengals were going to blow out the Rams, but I think some people
thought it was going to be really heavily Rams.
Yeah, and it wasn't.
Yeah,
it wasn't. And again, Stafford threw some interceptions, and I think he in the playoffs had the most interceptions of any of the quarterbacks in the playoffs.
That first interception, was there more than one INT or just the one in the?
I think there was two.
Two, because at one he's like,
there's one. He threw an interception into the
end zone. Yeah,
there was another one before that.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh well, there was an interception that wasn't exactly his fault. It hit, I think, the tight end's hands and then went into the Bengals player's hands.
I missed that one. I did see the one in the end zone when he threw it. Yeah, because that was a gun. He threw that, and I'm like, that's a commitment to throw that length.
Yeah,
at that time,
it's risky.
Yeah, it's very risky.
So when you bomb it like that, it's either going to be like to your glory or to your detriment.
Right.
And unfortunately, it was an interception, but he ended up winning the game. I was happy for him. You watch someone suffer in Detroit for that many years.
Yeah.
You just feel bad. You kind of wish Calvin Johnson, who spent all of his time in Detroit, could have been an honorary member of this Rams team, so he could have got the ring he deserved. He's one of the best wide receivers ever, and he spent it in Detroit. I mean, I just think of the guys who have wasted their time for the Lions. Barry Sanders. Imagine Barry Sanders on a good team.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm like, I love that guys stick it out and want to see an organization get better.
True.
Rather than jumping to a super team, which that's what the Rams is. They're a super team. They were, they weren't brought in from all over the place, but I guess they did what any good team does. Let's get some strategic players that are going to get us over the hump.
Right.
So
are they like the Lakers of football in a sense?
Yeah, it's worse. LA, the Lakers are definitely worse about it.
I think they would bring anybody that they could in. The Lakers.
Yo,
at the end there.
yeah.
It was crazy. I mean, after, was Kobe was at his end of his, and even when Shaq was at the end and he ended up going to Celtics, they were trying to blow that team up and
I think
stack it as much as they could. And they could. I mean, they had.
I think that basketball is affected way more by the building of those super teams. Like the Miami Heat did it with LeBron, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Ray Allen. Like, how are you going to compete with that? But then LeBron doing the same thing in LA, trying to bring in other guys, Russell Westbrook, Anthony Davis, all that. And I don't think they're doing terribly well with it. But the Rams, they were definitely a team built to win. They brought Von Miller in the middle of the year, which just made the defense even stronger. So they brought Odell Beckham Jr. in midway through the season. So it does seem kind of like the super team. So by all means, they should have won. But, it was a good game. The Bengals definitely didn't have that.
Right.
They were a team I think built through drafting. So hopefully they get back there again. But
yeah, I hope so too.
Anyway,
it was fun.
41
Fun
minutes
day.
on the Super Bowl.
Cool.
How did that happen?
Wow.
All this
well, it's good to be back. We needed to get back in the studio here and
studio. It's an office. It's an office, but
about time.
It was good to chat through a microphone because we would have had the same conversation.
Oh, it's going to happen later on anyway.
Without microphone, so we might as well record it and share it with the world because we have a worldwide platform here.
We do.
With the Lunch Break Podcast.
Yeah.
We literally have tens of people that listen to us, and we're happy to share that story. Hopefully, the guy who unfriended me doesn't randomly look up my podcast and hear the story, but he can. It's fine because there's nothing that didn't happen.
Right.
That was said. But it was for good. Hopefully we'll be back again soon.
Yeah.
I can't commit to next week. I can't commit to the week after.
Right.
By next month, maybe we'll have another episode.
Once a month? That'd be 12 podcasts a year if we did it. Well, that's
not going to pay the bills.
Yeah.
I think we've almost made $10 on this podcast.
It's better than no bills.
Yeah, well, not by much.
It's true.
I don't think we're to 10 yet because we haven't gotten a payout. You don't get a payout until you get to $10. Anyway, thank you for listening to the Lunch Break Podcast. We'll catch you the next time, whenever that is. As always, I'm Ricky, and over here,
it's me, Chris.
And we will catch you later.